Banana.
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 Banana. Hello, and welcome to the All Nighter Podcast.
This is where the insomniacs come to get silly.
With your hosts, Ashlyn Benson, Alexis Leach, and Rhonda Lou.
Yeah, boy.
Hello.
Hi, oh my gosh.
How's everybody doing?
Are we panicking inside and then pretending that we're not?
We're trying to keep relative chill. Not sure if we're succeeding in that. It has been an eventful couple of days into his presidency or his second term.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it went from the even right before, because it was because of him. The TikTok ban got lifted. So it's like, but right before he got in office, it's like, vroom, giddy up. Like, here we go.
It's just been kind of a whirlwind, I would say. I mean, Target has now pulled their DEI protections.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
That's
see Ashlyn.
I know.
I missed the whole setup. Oh my god.
I know. Maybe we should go back to it. I was trying something new. I don't know.
I do actually like the zoom in though too.
Yeah, I do like the zoom in.
Because I think that will make it really easy to edit.
Yeah, now it really feels like we're in our bedroom just chilling.
Yeah, no, this is exactly the proper. I can
yes,
swivel
this is
back
better.
and forth. Yeah, this is wonderful. Absolutely perfect.
Get our lazy Susan on, like the tabletop thingies.
Oh my God, yes. I hope that y'all are doing all right. I hope that y'all are, finding comfort in people that you feel loved and accepted by. Because that's really what I've been trying to relish in. Because it's they can't take that. We'll always have that.
Yeah, they can't take our freaking fashion. I mean, I guess they could, but if they just gave us rags and be like, I'm gonna fashion this into something cool.
Yeah, but then what if they're like, you're not allowed to change it, like a uniform or something?
I guess I'm dead.
You're like, fashion is all I have. They take that, I'm fucking done.
Dude, I mean, RuPaul, he says, we're all born naked and the rest is drag.
Ooh.
And dude, I mean, it's fun to serve looks, It's fun to take on a fun outer persona as far as like just a means of expression.
Yeah, I feel like that's a part of living, Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's
some people
enjoying.
Well, that's the thing they don't want you to have.
Yeah, the things that they've warped into something to get triggered by is just kind of sad. It just kind of sucks.
I mean, I feel it's like they feel so triggered because they can't even imagine pushing the envelope for themselves, getting themselves out of that comfort zone or feeling judged or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's also maybe who you're surrounding yourself with.
Exactly.
Because you want to know what I love about queer spaces is it feels so fucking freeing to be your freak flag self, where it's just it doesn't matter what you look like, how you dress, how outrageous or non-outrageous, it's
and
acceptance.
You can bring the melodrama and be silly and
yes,
just without fear of judgment and other people even mirroring it with you.
Yeah,
and being silly, and it's fucking.
And that's why I
awesome.
love drag too, because it's it's not serious, it's a very kind of camp a little bit.
It's serious and not serious at the same time, because it is an absolute art form, but it is unserious in the sense that it's it is camp. It is fun.
It's theater,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's over exaggeration.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but women can also do drag, can they not?
Oh yeah,
they can.
Chapel Roan is an example. Yeah,
and so I don't understand why everyone just. I guess I guess a majority of what people do see is like men in drag, but I mean, women
There
do
are
it
drag
too.
kings too, and
Yeah.
like
So it's
women.
like-
that,
women
that
who
will
dress up
be-
as men.
Yeah.
and like
mhm.
that sounds cool. Yeah, that sounds really cool, actually. But I mean, so does regular drag. It all seems like such freaking fun, and most of the
Anyone that I've talked to on either side, and I mean, when I say either side, I mean like people like us and then people on the right that are not fucking radical crazy people who have gone to drag shows and thought that they were so fun. So I'm like, why are y'all so bothered? Like,
yeah, and like, well, that series We're Here,
dude, my mom watched that. She had me watch a couple episodes with her. So good.
It's
Definitely
so
watch
I
it.
cry
so-
like every episode.
Me too,
It's really
man.
good.
It really cuts deep because it's done with a lot of different like participants in towns and stuff where queer spaces aren't as common and whatever, and it just like is this beautiful liberating thing, not only for the participants themselves but like the audience seeing a lot of this for
And
the
kind
first
of
time.
explain a little bit for people who haven't watched it, like what the participants do and like all that stuff.
So essentially, these three drag queens, three of my favorite drag queens, Eureka and Shangela and Bob, the drag queen. The three of them essentially find these different participants that volunteer to get a drag makeover kind of thing, and not only that, but do a show. And maybe with loved ones or friends or whatever.
Which is very nerve-wracking, by the way. You
Yes,
know? And if you've never
absolutely.
done
it's
drag,
an absolute performance
like,
art.
just having to walk in the heels is really hard. You know?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, there's
It's
some
like training.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and not showing the pain of your toes being squished as you're dancing, and it's absolutely beautiful. Every episode is beautiful
Because
in its
it
own
like
right.
literally puts them in their shoes, because it's sometimes like the parent or something where they're like really coming to acceptance with it or whatever.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, like you get to see like why it's so liberating, like why it's important for them to do this, and to like, because I think too, especially if you are a level of queer like in this world right now, it starts to get scary to show that, and like, which is so crazy, like just the idea of like dressing up becomes a threat to society or whatever, and it feels dangerous. But it's like, but when you're
drag
doing
has
it,
been a part of history for centuries,
and it is like a light,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
exactly. Yeah.
and it is a form of like
Creativity
activism too, or
and
whatever,
yes,
you know,
yeah.
like because it's just like, hey, like if we just like calm the fuck down and just like listen to this sick ass beat while someone dressed in beautiful beaded costumes and like things that like the way that they have to get ready to, you know, they're being sucked up in like 3 things of Spanx, like it is hard. And just to
It's no different than freaking supermodels walking a freaking catwalk.
1,000.
Exactly.
That's exactly
1,000.
what they do. I mean, we've all seen America's Next Top Model just because it was a horrible show behind the scenes, apparently, after learning that. It's like my favorite show, you guys. I'm like torn apart. Anyway, I mean, though that was a horrible show and all that, they did show you what it's like to be in an actual show like that,
Yeah.
like a oh my God, fashion show. Jeez, I could not think of the word I was looking for. And just how hard it actually is to have to run backstage, change real quick. I mean,
the
that's what they're
pressure of
doing
it all.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, it's literally no different.
Dude, and some of the fashion that they don
Exactly.
is like beyond
It's also art.
yes,
just-
exactly. And so many of them just have like the strongest hearts.
And really, it's like, oh, so are you just afraid of art? You know,
Yeah.
like that's like literally, because it's not like we're waving guns or whatever. It's just literally art, guys. Like,
it's just fucking passion and creativity. And it's
It's just
actually a lot of
expression.
fun. Yeah, if you allow yourself to enjoy it.
No one's asking you to get up on the fucking stage.
Right. Yeah.
Calm down.
And I mean, honestly, I think so much of it stems from like that well, their internalized homophobia, where they're just like, well, if they're dressed all pretty, I don't want to be attracted to a man, and all this bullshit. And it's just tragic. It really
goofy is what it is.
Because
I know.
Because it's like, you are making another person, an artist, like, and the object of your hate, out of your own fear, and it ends up being kind of shameful for you.
So like, it's probably like a year ago, I was in this Christian movie, and I'm not gonna like name it or anything, but one of the guys who was like my acting scenes, and I felt very torn being in this movie because it was right around
I was thinking about this the other day.
when Roe v. Wade got overturned or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And literally a week later, I found out I was pregnant. And so, which I wanted a baby, but
It was just scary to think about because
Yeah.
you're like, wow, I'm literally having a baby right now.
it was more scary for my child's future because it was
Right.
just like, damn, they just did that. And like,
It's a girl.
yeah. And so, but anyways, in this movie, my acting partner had to dress up as a woman to make fun of like people who do that, I guess, or whatever. And like that was like very like I really didn't know how it was just like to
I remember
protest.
you talking about it.
Yeah, it was I
Yeah.
just felt so like I really had a hard time just emotionally. Like it was so hard because it was like, oh, I got to be in this movie, but then I realized like it was ultra Christian, like right wing. But what kind of made me feel better about it was like, so he had to dress up like at the first place we were shooting and then walk to the restaurant that we were finishing shooting in. And you could tell like he was visibly uncomfortable and stuff and like trying to still like make jokes about it. But it's like I felt like at least in that moment, it's like you see how scary it is for someone who sees that as that's who they are and that's how they want to express themselves.
That's how they want to present. Identify.
And you're out here being afraid of like being judged in just this little moment and
in this short walk
and trying to like make fun of it. That's kind of what made me feel better about it. It's like you're actually, you trying to mock it is actually you kind of putting yourself in those person's shoes.
Yeah.
And I mean, he probably didn't learn anything from it, but
Probably.
But even if it gave him just the slightest bit more of it.
But you're explaining it to people now.
yeah,
Exactly.
So they know what to look out for.
Yeah. So also just know I didn't have any, like real input on this film and wasn't like I really didn't like promote it very much either. I don't know. Such an interesting time. But yeah, we won't clip that part out. You gotta watch this in-depth episode to get to this part.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that most of y'all have probably seen like that Bishop video, like talking directly to Trump and stuff, and like every single one of her sentiments was like on par with what I believe a truly loving Christian is.
Well, and it's like I truly do think like if Jesus came down now,
Right.
he would be hanging out with all the gays and all the people like because like I just feel like that is what I always felt like that is what Jesus was saying, and that's why
he
even
was
back
like,
then
the thieves, the prostitutes, they're all redeemable. They are all beautiful. I love them. What? And there's even like memes of that too, where it's like love your neighbor and do good to those who hate you or whatever. And then like the people are all like, but Jesus, what if they're Muslim? And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna start again and let me know where I lost you, because it's like that's it. Like it's just simply love other people, love the
no
people
matter
around
what,
you.
unconditionally,
Yes.
not parts of them, not just be
Don't like love the sinner but hate the sin or
Yeah.
whatever. Just love and accept, because no one is sinless.
yes.
And we are all children of God. I mean, as I see it, like if there is a God, if there is a higher power, there's not a single one of us that is not a child. And like actually, even in terms of like reflection and stuff and trying to offer grace to myself, like I've almost been shifting into that perspective of like, okay, how would I feel if it were my child?
Yeah.
Like how would I see myself in different things that have happened in my life if it was happening to my child?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I'm glad you're seeing that. Yeah, because it is. Oh, well, and also it's like our inner child does still live within us, you know?
Absolutely.
And sometimes that inner child just needed a hug or just needed to be like, no, it's okay. You know, like I know I felt a lot of shame at like 12 when I like knew I was also attracted to girls, and like because I the first way that I started like looking up like sexy ladies was phone backgrounds on flip phones.
Yeah,
And
that
so I
little
would,
gray
like,
flip
you remember
phone.
that bedroom at Miss Atwell's, like the den or whatever? So I would go in there into like a corner behind all the Avon boxes.
Oh, Avon.
And then I'd be like, oh, you know, not, you know, not that. It was just truly looking like I didn't even know.
You were just curious.
Yeah. And so, but that did raise the phone bill like a lot. And Mom was like, but I thought she could see like what I was looking at, but I don't think she actually could.
Like,
but I think
yeah.
I kind of outed myself of like, you know, because I got so scared or whatever. But
yeah, I think she could just see that the data went up or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, what?
But that's always how it was for us. Most of the time, we would out ourselves. Like I had a MySpace for like 3 days, and she had asked me if I did. And at that time, I had a MySpace under a fake name. It was Lacey Brown. It didn't even have like my
She's
photo
out here just
or
being
anything.
a super spy.
And well, like it was completely indescript because I was like, okay, well, this is safe. It doesn't really have any real information of me, and I can still talk to friends online, or whatever. And then so like she had asked me that like one day if I had one, and I was like, well, no.
But
then,
Lacey Brown
by
does.
by the third day, I was fucking sick. I was like, I can't handle this. This does not feel good. And then I told her, and I showed her the Lacey Brown fucking MySpace.
Freaking weak.
And then she
That's
was
so
like,
funny
"Oh
because
my
I
God."
would use the name Lacey too
Really?
for fake names.
That's hilarious. What the fuck? Yeah, it was like Lacey and like Melody for me. Melody was one for a while.
One of my Tumblrs was Glass Heart.
Oh,
Because I
dude,
was going through a
follow
breakup.
somebody still that's like just a glass heart.
Oh, really? It's me.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Or actually, I think it's just a glass child. That's what it is. She's a good writer.
She sounds fragile.
Ooh, but Tumblr was also a good place for like sexy things for a while,
yeah.
like sexy gifs.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is like, I mean, I always hated porn sites. Like I just felt like I didn't like them. And so I was always finding like alternate ways. So Tumblr was a good spot. And then eventually I took it off and I was like, my life.
Man, it's like I want to divulge something for a second, but I'm like, it's probably TMI for a podcast.
I mean,
you can just say it and we'll clip it out.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, so for a long time, you know, like, I mean, I would watch porn occasionally, and sometimes it was satisfying or whatever, but then you would sometimes land on those videos that make you feel really fucking weird.
Yes.
Where you're like, I don't
Like, what's
know.
happening actually? This
Yeah, like some
Yeah,
of
is this trauma?
yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Yeah.
But I just witnessed trauma. This hits like found footage. Like it's
Yeah.
weird, and like sometimes amateur stuff is just like that or whatever. But I just found it unsettling.
When you can't discern.
If you've had a dating history and you don't fully trust all of those people still, there's kind of no way to know if they've ever had like a camera
recording
somewhere
or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Or that too, just like
a hidden
yeah.
camera, because like people do shit like that
because they
and
suck ass.
and there was one time actually where like I saw somebody who kind of looked like me and kind of looked like you, but she even had like the same dress that I had, but it was like from Target or whatever, so it's a common dress. But when I first saw it, I was like, I like fucking lost it for a second. But anyway, so
It's funny because I feel like dudes never would have to worry about that. Like
Right.
No,
they
if
would
that
never.
happened to them, they'd be like, fucking sick.
Yeah, they'd be
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna send this to all my bros. Look at me getting this
Yeah.
girl. You know.
right, yeah, like I mean,
I
well,
say that, but I have listened to like a lot of my, would it even be the podcast if Alexis didn't mention a murder story? Just like a lot of like murder podcasts or whatever shows where they've mentioned, I mean, women do that too. This is all like
that's
jokes,
true. That's true.
But
Yeah,
women
and
can also
Men
do
have problems too.
Yeah, and well, like especially like queer people too. I think
Yeah.
any queer people would have that fear.
I mean, that alone, even just like if like your friend finds out or something and is like, oh well, I know this about you now, and I'll fucking expose you, and you're
or like
it's fucked up. Revenge porn is fucked up. Don't do it.
Yeah,
never.
exactly.
But so after
And
all
is
that,
punishable at least right now.
yeah, in most
by law,
states,
so-
if not all states.
Should be. Also.
But I after a certain point, like after I saw shit like that, like the look-alike, I was like, fucking, I can't watch this shit anymore.
That was a jump scare.
And then like my sex drive kind of went dormant for a bit, but then when it came back, like I just like started like listening to music. Like as I was going, and I was
Really
like,
getting
wait.
creative with that mind.
Yeah, and then, like, and just kind of like this is gonna sound strange, but like thinking about the things that I want in this life.
No, that's
and,
like
really
a type
just, like,
of visualization and
focusing on
manifesting.
it, and
It is.
and like the kind of person that I want to be, or like whatever, and then
It makes me think of that episode of oh my god, Broad City, where Trump gets elected, after Trump got elected, and where she goes to get the like vaginal rejuvenation or whatever because she can't get off.
Oh my God,
she's
yes.
like, the men, they're taking over. And the lady is just like, it's okay, you just gotta breathe or whatever. Yeah, that's what it's making me think of. Because you're like, I'm trying to visualize the things I want, and like that's like what she was saying. She was like, visualize women and the power, and then she can finally, whatever.
Yeah.
Man, I need to do a rewatch of that.
I
It's
do
been a
Oh
too,
while.
yes,
honestly.
dude. We should just do like a little hang rewatch of
Yeah,
it.
because that one, the
It's kinda
episodes are
short.
so short, so like we could definitely like watch like a couple
Knock
of
a couple
seasons or
out.
something. Yeah.
Which also, I mean, so I was so I went to Belicia, which is like a women made like porn website or whatever, and but now that's blocked as well as Pornhub, which I felt like Pornhub, I
Yeah.
feel like that's like the devil. I don't know. But so I
That's
was like,
Satan.
I was fine with that one, but then they blocked my women website, and I was like,
Well, and
Or for
Pornhub
women.
recently had even like made some stipulations of requiring like
Whatever.
ID and
I don't
stuff to
tr-
even like
Oh.
publish, and
Oh.
that's actually
Okay.
helped my comfort in it
That's
a lot
interesting.
because then like this is something that is like intentionally produced,
Yeah.
because otherwise that was the fear for so long. And I think like as far as like the law that Oklahoma's put into place and blocking it or making you give your ID, I don't think that's
Which I'm not gonna
necessarily
do that.
fair. Right, yeah, but
Wait.
but for the producers of the people putting it out, I think requiring them to have some identification as far as being of age and everything like that, I think that is-
that's 1,000.
chef's kiss.
Yeah. So
Because
now I
it'll
guess
save some people from getting scarred, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, that-
potentially,
But that
like-
don't stop them from sending it to your family and shit.
Yeah, right.
You know,
God.
or whatever.
That's why I liked Belisa, because it was like it just felt
Romantic.
like yeah. I mean, they still had like the different categories, but everybody also looked like 25 and above. Like you know,
Right,
it just
yeah.
always looked. It just felt like it was safe, because also it was like. Even Alana talks about it in her stand-up, where it's like it's not just so much like what videos you're choosing to watch, it's the sidebar stuff that gets crazy on those other
Yeah.
websites.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, all the ads.
Oh.
yeah, and but you know what, I think I'm kind of fine with like going back to like Playboys or something.
Yeah, dude.
But also that's like a lot of work. I mean, the mind is always the best at the end of
Yeah,
the day.
that's
Even
where I'm
Playboy
at
was
too.
awful though.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, well, like everything with like Brooke Shields and stuff at the age that she was is kind of fucking like when I actually learned about that.
Just that, and I mean, there was like the roofie. Well, I don't know if it was roofie party, but like drug parties where they would like have like the orgies and stuff, and like.
I didn't know about that.
Have you not watched the like? Oh my gosh, I'll have to send it to you.
Send it to me. Oh my God.
The documentary?
Yes. I mean, I think ever since Hef passed on, they're in like a better, like owned by I don't know if it's still his family, but don't quote me because I'm not sure. I
Just
haven't
run
purchased
more
anything from
ethically.
there since watching that documentary. Oh, had all these like special requirements and like drug parties that they would do at the orgies and all that kind of stuff, and just like messed up stuff.
Yeah, I know there was like a lot of body shaming going on there
Yeah.
and stuff too.
And then there were I can't remember her name, but she was murdered by her boyfriend because of being a Playboy bunny and like all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Jesus.
God. Well, yeah, okay. Scratch that. Not Playboy. Just a woman. Actually, I'm pretty sure Filthy Mouth Creative on Instagram, like they kind of do like sexy pics and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a woman who does it, but yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's hard to be like a sex worker out here in this world, and
and feel safe.
I think that's why OnlyFans was so successful, you know,
Exactly,
where it's like
yeah.
it giving the performer like all the power and stuff, which they should have.
All the control.
But
yeah, I'm very grateful for its existence because there's just other means of coercion and stuff in other like big porn productions and stuff, as well as just not getting paid what they deserve most of the time. Whereas like with OnlyFans, it's like you set your prices and like it is all in your hands, and I think that's freaking awesome.
yeah, and there's this one like granny on there who's like one of the top performers on OnlyFans. She's like she's almost 70.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
And she was like, I think I saw this on Vice or something, but she was like, yeah, I never would have thought like I would do this, like if you had told my 30-year-old self this, but she's like, people want this.
People want it.
Chad had sent me this news article that said, like, it was a picture of this woman, a beautiful maven, who it said like in the title, like I think it's like 60 something or 50 something dominatrix is paid $100 an hour for men to clean her house. And then like the caption says like, I think I've been going about this making a living thing wrong. And honestly, I mean, like, that's great. I mean, like absolute.
See, that's a woman using her
I
power.
commend that lady. Yeah. And you know, it's productive.
And that's what all these fucking billionaires and shit like Trump don't like, because they found a way to use their body to, quite
Empower
frankly,
themselves.
yeah, quite frankly, bank harder than they do. So it's like that pisses them off, and then they try to shame them. And I mean, more power to them. I could never do it, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're a piece of shit because you do this service or whatever.
And it is a service. And there are even some doms and stuff
And a
that
dangerous
do, like,
service
aftercare.
still, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I mean,
Because
you
again,
just might find a loose cannon client kind of thing, even if it is entirely virtual. And that is one thing I will say with OnlyFans that I am kind of leery of, is the fact that they do make it feel like you are interacting with the person. It's almost entirely bots.
Parasocial.
Yeah, it's almost entirely bots or people that have been hired to type back and forth to the clients and stuff. But I wish that wasn't part of it, because I think that element of, like you said, a parasocial connection is dangerous, because then they can, like, you know, try to find the person and then be like, well, you said this to me, man. You said this and you said that, and like we were in love, you know, or like whatever, and you know, be in a hysteric state or something. And it's just like that's the one element that with OnlyFans that I kind of wish that, like, if the creators do want to directly reach out to the people, for them to just do it on their own, but for it not to be that automatic thing, because that does just seem kind of scary territory in my mind.
that just reminded me of, I saw this clip on Instagram, so who knows, you know, take it all with a grain of salt. But it was like at this convention or whatever, and they had these women. Whoa.
Nice. Oh, I feel so much
she's
better.
crack-a-lacking over here.
Are you
I
a robot?
am, man. I was like, my back is so twisted, my arms feel twisted. I was like,
I keep doing this number because I really want to pop my chest, and it just won't do it.
my sternum.
Every time I wake up, Adam like sees me. I like turn to the side of the bed. I'm like, crack, crack.
Yeah, dude. That's me too.
Reassembling like Megatron. But yeah, so there were these robots, like sex robots or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But like the robot looked like she was drugged out of her mind. Like it was just like such an unsettling robot, just in that, you know.
Where was this robot?
I don't know. See, this was just like some convention on
your feed.
and
It was
but
probably like a porn convention or something.
yeah, probably. And the comments were just like so there was one side of the comments where the guys were feeling like shamed, where it's like, what's so wrong with wanting to love a robot or whatever. But then there were like women on there where it's like, why does the robot have to look like this though? Like it feels like they just want like a drugged out woman to bang, and like this is as close as they can get. Which it's also, so it just connected me to the billionaires, where it's like, I just wonder too, like with people like Trump and stuff, where it's like, you know, and we've met these guys where it just seems like sometimes they like want, you know, the sex or something so badly, but they just do not have the lovable qualities or something, and yet, so, you know, then they take it or whatever, and like whatever. I don't know, but especially like with the billionaires too, where it's like they're trying to like fulfill something that like it's never going to be fulfilled that way, you know, like I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, like with Elon seeking validation from gamers and you know the the greater audience on X and whatever, and all these silly ways, it just, like I was telling them the other night, like it just speaks to just how much money cannot fulfill, like just fulfill someone's ego or heal someone's ego.
Right.
Yeah, and money isn't healing. Like, I mean, like,
yeah,
money brings comfort and luxury,
like security,
you know, yeah,
in some ways.
But that also, but it will not fulfill like a deep need to feel seen or, you know, or whatever. Secure. Yeah. It is crazy too, though, because it does feel like Musk like really came in on the end quarter of like Trump's football game, you know, like,
yeah,
because
he's a sneaky little fucking snake man, and he's a piece of shit.
There was one video too where I was like, is this AI or what's happening here? Where like they're like, Musk is an alien or something, because like he like blinked and his eyes like literally looked like alien eyes for a second. And I was like, this cannot be real. Like, but also it would make sense if he was an alien. But also it makes sense if Mark Zuckerberg was an alien.
He's a fucking weirdo too.
I mean, he's Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckercorn. He like he seems a lot more human these days. There was a period of time like and I think I like put this on Threads one time where I was like, Elon Musk and Zuckerberg both seem like characters that like don't know their key bindings, like when they're talking and like moving around. Sometimes I'm like it just seems, even when the, like Elon is like dancing and stuff, but I don't know. It's strange. Like
I can't with the dancing anymore.
It's strange. Like I want to have, like, I have empathy to these people to the extent that it's obvious that they have some damage.
If
Elon
I'm home,
and Trump
I'm sure my
in
mom
particular.
just said something.
I know, yeah.
She was probably like, "No, Rhonda, no."
They just fucking suck, and they do. But
and then my mom probably just heard that and was like, "Shut up," if I'm home.
Well, it's like anybody like who gravitates towards Nazism,
right?
Yeah, they got something wrong.
Yeah,
something wrong with them.
Somebody did some fucking numbers on them, and they're doing numbers on themselves.
But it is like, you know, we were talking to Mom yesterday where it's like, I think, you know, it's like, so part of too of like Nazis and like the Proud Boys and stuff, it is them trying to get you mad and be like, why are you acting so crazy? Why, you know, it's like rage baity, almost trolly. Right, like that's some of like what they want.
The intent, yeah.
And so for us, like on the other side, it's like, we don't want guns. We don't want to fight, you know, like we want to just live
freely and comfortably.
But it does feel like it could reach a point of like, I mean, where it just feels like, what is our options? You know, how can I do keep thinking, I'm like, I'm using like that bishop as an example in my mind if like something comes across, because it's like,
yeah, like how to demonstrate like a higher path to somebody.
Yeah.
And dude, like when you said, I don't know if it was you or you, but that you were like, that's a very Ron thing to do or something like that, it made me want to cry a little bit. But I do think that there is a higher path most of the time, because I mean, I think, you know, like actually getting into it with people like that lady at Gardeners and stuff.
I was just
like, I mean,
thinking about that.
yeah, I mean, like if I were to have said anything, I just would have
Gardener's
said,
lady, I hope you fucking see that.
yeah, I mean, I just would have.
You are crazy.
I mean, and
And then
what's
there's Rhonda.
no, but what's wild too is that like at the time, like when she was watching that meme of Elon and Trump like dancing together,
It was like an
please,
AI meme dance thing.
yeah, I was like, please don't let that become reality. And like now,
And
like where we're
here we
sitting, I'm
are.
like, fuck, man. It sucks. And yeah, and it was like playing like Staying Alive in the meme, and I was just like, I want to evaporate. I want to evaporate.
It was fucking obnoxious is what it was, but whatever. It's
It
just
was very sad.
Because there is,
sad.
well, it's like at this point, like where we're at now with it, you know, like before the Nazi salute and everything. I mean, look, the people who like deny it's a Nazi salute, it's like, if you look at everything Trump has done and let's compare it with Hitler's history, it's lining up, y'all. So even before that, you know, and it's like, and for those of us who are aware of that, like we've already seen that. So the Nazi salute wasn't necessarily surprising, but it's just a little shocking. Like, here we are.
It's very, I don't even want to say it's shocking, just because we all, at least all of us sane people, saw it coming. I find it to be very bold.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Very
Very
fucking brazen.
Brazen, yes. Another very good word, yes. It's just like, and then just to see all of the people who deny that that's what it was, I'm like,
That's like the sad feeling part.
Yeah.
Well, and see, like the thing is like a lot of people are, especially people that are speaking to like autism spectrum disorder and stuff, because you know he does have that,
which is
and
fine.
saying right, yeah.
I know plenty of people on the spectrum that aren't running around throwing out Nazis.
Sig Heils, yeah.
Yeah.
And well, and the
Exactly.
thing is that just like you said, if it weren't for all of that, if it weren't for all the shit that he's talking about and doing in that direction, then yeah, maybe the benefit of the doubt would be offered. But because of all of that, it's just like, dude, it just really kind of feels like I'm gonna take this moment and do this shocking thing and see who still stands with me.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like if everybody does, then like we really have the power now.
Yeah, because also it's like, okay, let's just say you want to give the benefit of the doubt, no matter what the intentions were, the Nazi groups, the Proud Boys, the people the hate groups have
that
been,
wasn't even a dog
they
whistle,
were like,
man.
oh yeah, baby, like it's on. We're living our lives. They're not going to punish us if we do something in the name of this or whatever. And that's where it's like, so that's where I am feeling more anger, and it is harder for me to just, you know, we are in the vicinity of people who boldly support Trump and like had their Trump flags up on Inauguration Day. And it does like, it makes me want to yell at them, I guess, you know, where it's just like, it makes me just want to be like, F you, dude, like, just F you, like, at this point, you know, but it's like, what will that really do? You know, it won't do anything. And then it's also like, I don't feel like anybody who supports him is going to be convinced at any point. Like, I honestly feel like they're, like, the people who are still rooting for him, like if they voted for Trump like kind of haphazardly, like just didn't really know, they didn't take it too serious or whatever.
Or
I feel
just
like
did what their parent told them to do or something.
like they might have regret or whatever. But the people who are like, yeah, that wasn't a Nazi salute, blah, blah, blah. I honestly don't think that, like, if people start dying, if teachers start getting killed because they're not letting ICE into the school or whatever, like, I don't think they will care, because that's the same thing that happened in Germany too, where it was like there were the people who we're just like, it's not affecting me. So, you know, as long as Trump still does what he said about eggs or whatever. Like,
well, and
I
it's
don't know.
like, I don't know. I want to believe. I mean, I don't know how much he can affect the economy anyway, but it's like, I want to believe that. And I was watching this comedian who was actually really getting into this, and I really liked him. I feel like his name was Josh something, but
Oh, is he black?
yes.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think his name is Josh Johnson, isn't it?
I see that. I was like, I didn't want to be wrong on that. I was like, am I just seeing Johnson where it isn't? But
No, because he's a new correspondent on the Daily Show too now.
no shit. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, like he had really kind of broken it down where he was just saying, you know, like, I don't know, we've gotten to this place where it's like we're just we're so angry or whatever. They're so angry with us and so scared of us in all these different ways, and we're scared of them, and it's just kind of it is disheartening, and it is just like hard to fight past. But there was a greater point I was getting to. What was I talking about before that? Before I brought him up.
Because you said, what did we say before that?
What was
Like
it?
not being mean to them, or like you know, we're angry.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no, he was saying like he wants to have faith that once these things start happening, like, you know, in their neighborhoods, when they see like ICE like knocking down their neighbor's door or whatever,
To people that are actually citizens too. Like,
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah. And even the bishop kind of talked about that too. You know, like, these are our neighbors. These are people that work alongside us. These are people that are good pillars to the community, that do service. And so, like, you know, if we start seeing all of these things, and if we start seeing like really harmful and tragic things left and right, like, yeah, I want to believe that pendulum will swing into like, oh, actually we're being inhumane. But if it doesn't, like, if people start seeing that and they're still like, hell yeah, brother, then that is kind of like full tilt, like fascism. And that is a scary prospect.
and I do just wish that like people would really think, okay, if you really thought about an immigrant's life, like let's say someone who is undocumented, first of all, those of us who are unhappy with how America is right now, like, we want to leave the country, but we also know that it's like, that's like an incredible feat in itself to leave everything that you're comfortable in. And then like, especially people in Mexico, like I knew some people who were like escaping Mexico because it was so dangerous, and there was like one friend that like literally, I don't know what happened to her, because like she had went back to like visit, and I never heard from her again. And like,
I really liked her.
and so like, it's not like they're just like coming over here for an easier life, because I can guarantee you it is no way easier. Everything is different. People look down on you for not being able to speak the language, or if they're learning it as they go and stuff.
But it feels like a life and death situation for them, and it often is, and they are risking their lives and making that trek the majority of the time.
And they're working the shittiest jobs here in America just because where they left was way shittier. So it's like, and America was at one point supposed to be known as like, you can come here for freedom of religion and all these things. And it's just crazy that like,
which is why I don't understand why all these people are so fucking gung-ho for all of these different things, just because of the affiliation of a political party, because it literally is going against everything that America was founded on and stands for.
Yeah, like a true conservative can understand.
And they're the ones that are all like, America, fucking America. And I'm like,
read the fucking Constitution, man.
see the hypocrisy in what you're fucking even saying. Like, you're all
Especially-
about America and what it was founded on, but you don't even take the time to realize what it was even founded on or for. And it's just so fucking gross and sickening, and I can't understand why these people can't fucking see it. And it's because they've been brainwashed, and that's all
Yeah.
all there is to it.
and it's like, if you are hyper religious, Jesus said to share. You know, so
Right.
it's like, and we tell our kids to share. So it's like, why would we expect, first of all, this wasn't our land anyway.
Exactly. If you're not Native American, you were an immigrant too.
Yeah, so calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, for us, we're just like monkey humans, like, oh, this mine, nobody come over here. It's like, what? Like we were meant to live this life together in sweet harmony.
Yeah, right. Well, we were meant to share a community and share our resources and stuff. And I think, I don't know, like they say that even like societies that are still closer to the hunter-gatherer realm, and where they do live all together in one place or whatever, it like they feel a lot more satisfied with their lives a lot of the time. Whereas us, we're so locked into like our individual like consumerism, and
especially
it
like
leaves
with
a
moms.
Disconnectedness.
Yeah, especially with like moms too.
Right, like they have real villages, and
Yeah.
and moms here often have less than they deserve.
Yeah, because I do feel like once if you ever become a mom, like you start to see and you understand, oh yeah, it takes a village and all this stuff, but you kind of realize like, yeah, if you lived in a more communal way, the intensity of having a child would be lessened significantly.
Exactly, yeah.
If you lived in that communal space where you have other people that you trust to watch your child and help
that
you.
can model for your child.
Yeah.
And also show them like healthy means of coping and expression and whatever. Like I think like that's kind of part of why like I always kind of wish that like my dream life would be that like me and everybody that I like love extremely deeply would all live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
So that like we could pop by and see your kids and just like, just walk back and forth from wherever, whenever,
I mean, there's people that live on like family compounds.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they get to do that because, freedom. But whatever.
And I do think like, yeah, being a parent was never meant to be done alone. Yeah. Like, but there was actually, I did come across this other TikTok with this girl who was saying like, she's been through like traumatic shit. She's been in abusive relationships and like, basically just saying like, she's been at the lowest and the hopeless, like the most hopeless places. And she's like gotten past that and like, she's healed. And like, now that we're here in this country, at this state, she's like, I actually have more hope because I think like while all of this is scary and stuff, there is an opportunity for rebirth of what it means to like be in our country and stuff, and that I think maybe the biggest difference between like, if we're comparing Germany and stuff to here is just that there are a lot more people who are wanting a better, more loving and accepting country for everybody. So if we do take it a day at a time, we can somehow reborn some things.
Reborn some things, man. Reborn some love. Reborn some just consideration for your fellow man.
I don't know.
No, but I want to believe that too. I want to believe that like we will see. I don't want to hope that we'll see this, but we might end up seeing some of the harshness of some of these policies come into fruition. We might see some cruelty and some inhumane shit. And I hope that we can at least feel the gravity of that.
And maybe it will wake up some people.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe that's just what they need.
They'll be like, But then again, people are freaking hateful, so.
I don't know. Like I said, and maybe it won't be the majority that kind of, see it in the light for what it is. But yeah, just enough to be like, actually, we need to rethink this shit.
Yeah.
And this is actually going to harm our economy because trust me, like I think that a lot of the immigration policies that they want to enact, especially like a lot of the birthright shit that they're trying to push, it is going to deeply affect our economy, and not in the positive ways, and it's just it's a wild thing because we are on like such a short time in, you know, and it already feels like day after day there's just like more that I'm like, oh man.
And it's like all the COVID shit like already took up so fucking much of that. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. People are fucking dumb.
And it is crazy too, because it's like I feel like for the I mean, really, once like the Trump hate stuff started, I mean, him emboldening these other like hate groups and stuff, I've definitely felt more unsafe in like queer spaces, and just that like having I would just have some fears of like someone coming into the space and shooting it up or whatever, which did happen in like Florida and stuff at some of the gay clubs.
Well, and
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was one thing that happened here.
It was
like,
close. It was like Club X or something.
The
like
one
that.
in Colorado. Yeah, the one in Colorado.
Oh yeah,
but it was with someone from
here. Yeah,
My cousin.
Yeah.
Or my dad's cousin died. Yeah.
Yeah.
He they were one of the bartenders, I think.
Dude, that's so sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I actually had friends that knew them.
Yeah,
And it's like it's like if it what it comes down to, it's like we're not really scared of like Trump himself coming down into these things. It's just the people
that he's empowering
Yeah.
to be remarkably hateful and to potentially be like to use like because I was actually I was talking with you guys about it the other night where I'm like I'm not so much afraid of everything that he might enact in law. I mean I am. I mean, but it's a milder concern to what I think he can
inspire in others.
Inspire and instill in others as far as like feeling like they have the authority to like start rounding up people they think are immigrants or being hateful towards queer people or whatever because they're like, well, now we're in power or whatever and people are on my side or whatever, and it's just like, what the fuck?
It's like, what are you even talking about, bro? Do you even hear what you're saying right now?
No, it's crazy. And I was telling them too that I was like, I mean, like he's truly just preyed on like some of everybody's like greatest insecurities and stuff. And especially if people are like financially unstable for one reason or another or impoverished in some way and they already have like a low self-worth, sometimes he can like pick at that and almost be like, okay, you're dealing with that or whatever, but this person is worse than you, so hate this person. Like, I feel like that's all it is. Like these distractions, these objects of hate that he throws up, like trans people and marginalized communities, queer people of color. It's like these are all just things to distract you and get you angry about shit, right? So that he can avoid doing anything that actually benefits you.
Right. Yeah.
Like he's not for you is the thing, and he's really only for himself.
Yeah. Someone was on some video I came across. He was like, "How is it that you can relate to a billionaire?" It's like you keep saying, "Oh, he's for the people, for the people."
Like
he's not living the same life you're living. You know?
Yeah. He. Yeah. No. Yeah. He's not worried about fucking egg prices. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Now you might be right that he cares about your adoration or he wants that.
Yes.
But only to the extent that
I don't even think he cares about it. I just think he wants it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
He just wants it so that he can get his votes, get his whatever. And I'm just like, I'm not here for it, bro.
Which was pretty crazy that Elon was like offering $1 million to people if they like said they would vote for Trump.
He's just a fucking piece of shit.
I didn't even see that shit when it was happening.
Like that, I was like, is that not allowed? Like,
yeah, that sounds pretty fucking illegal. But I'm no expert.
Yeah.
And then like, it's definitely I'm pretty sure it's illegal to like wear political affiliations to like your polling places and stuff, and like
it is.
Of course, like when I went in to vote, that like Trump was like everywhere, and I'm like,
I was actually pretty
like
grateful.
Trump shirts and all that kind of shit, and I'm just like, really?
I was pretty grateful. I didn't see any of that, and we were at a church too. But so it is a church that is open to.
Is yours
to gay
the
people.
one that's right by Quick Trip over there?
Yeah. And like they have like a rainbow thing that says like safe for all to worship, and that shit.
Yeah.
See, that shit is heartening to me. That shit makes me feel like, you know, there is still love in this world, and I don't know. I would love to see more Christians take that route.
Right.
But it is kind of harder to imagine at this point, for some at least. But around here, there are quite a few progressive churches. There's even one, like the one that Saint Cecilia is connected to, where they host like drag shows and stuff sometimes. And I'm like, and it's a Catholic church, and I'm like, word. It's really fucking, that's a beautiful thing to me. And to see something like that in a state like Oklahoma,
Yeah.
like that's a marvel and a beautiful thing. And it's not the only one. There are several churches that accept and love people that are queer, not only in their congregation but even in their ministry, and that shit's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, a lot of the time, like I love Tulsa so much. The rest of Oklahoma kind of scares me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even certain like Broken Arrow, or like, because there's some of these like neighborhoods, like when we were looking to buy a house, there were some neighborhoods that were just like all Trump, like giant Trump flags, where they just look like little Trump hoods. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, there's definitely some interesting decorations out there for sure. For the Trumpies.
But it's like it is just another thing of just like what is it that makes you think that like he loves you or that he'll do anything for you? Like what has he done to deserve your adoration that much?
I will say, I do think some, like, look, anybody can fall into an abusive relationship. I do think like there's different levels of abusers that can be very cunning and whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like some of them, like, they may also be in an active abusive relationship and like adoring Trump, because I think some of it is like, if they think that if they love him, that they will receive love, but that is like the mistake of it, you know, of like they're loving the wrong person. I don't know.
Yeah, and well, like with all the pardons and stuff too for the people who committed January 6th. Like, I mean, so like, and I said this to Adam and Ashlyn the other night too, where it's like, if it would be one thing to pardon the nonviolent people that were there, if you wanted to do that and just pardon their trespassing or whatever, then okay, maybe, but to pardon the people that were violent, to pardon the people that were actively harming people, that were trying to keep other people safe.
Right.
That is
Crazy.
almost literally a license to kill. I mean, like, it's a license to hurt and to kill, and it's,
And that's who he wants on his team, you know.
exactly, yeah, and that's really leaning in an authoritative oligarchy. And
Which,
that's fucking weird.
If you go to the Project 2025 website, you can apply to like work for them, and they can train you in whatever they want to train you in and all this stuff. And I mean, so that's where like, I would try to tell some friends and stuff where like, if they're like, well, he won't have all this power. And I'm like, but you don't, what I feel like there were some people not understanding is like, he's not just going to be using the military. Like, it's going to be these same people who will ride or die for him, who are already people who can commit violence without care,
hesitation,
and like, those are the people he's going to enlist to do his wills or whatever, you know, to do his what is the word, like,
enact his will. Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like is the scariest, is like these people that he's just gathering.
Yeah, it's the people around him.
Yeah.
That worry me the most. He's just a buffoon.
He's just kind of a man child, man. And that's what I was saying as far as like being damaged or whatever. Like, I just mean that he's an entirely insecure man. I mean, talking about, you know, fucking crowd sizes and shit, compensating for God knows what. I mean, we see it constantly that he is just so fucking deeply insecure and just like has to constantly boast about how cool he is.
I know. I'm just like, what is this? Like,
And you know, Elon's
every
along
time I talk
that
to
same
her,
vein,
he
honestly.
talks.
Yeah, like Elon too. It's like they prop themselves up in this way that is
fucking weird,
nothing.
man.
It's impossible for it not to be a facade. And you know why? Because if you are actually like a cool person or like, you know, accomplishing certain things or whatever, have certain
You don't always
strengths,
have to talk about how fucking cool you are.
Yeah, other people will do it for you.
Exactly.
And so it's just
and I can feel empathy for baby Trump and baby Elon.
Yeah.
I think it also goes to show that rich kids also don't get off scotch-free without trauma, you know, like
right, yeah.
And again, like money
being
doesn't
rich,
buy
love. Like doesn't mean
love,
that they
yeah.
were loved as children. I don't know that they were.
which Elon's parents are like truly like cartoon like
I don't know that I've ever seen them.
his mom
I've
almost
never-
looks like the Anastasia
Like grandma?
uh-huh.
Wow.
Like she
Really?
literally
Like
and
with,
she
like the swoop.
yeah, she's got like gray hair and like got this swoop and like
Oh whoa.
almost Cruella de Vil status, but definitely kind of looks more like that Anastasia grandma. And she's got a British accent and everything. And then, you know, the dad just kind of looks like a
dad.
I mean, he looks like a British like librarian kind of like whatever. But and I would assume for both Elon and Trump's, there's like some emotional, like severe emotional neglect.
Exactly. Yes.
Probably. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, if your parents are like rich enough
Mm-hmm.
and they're always working, kind of thing, and they're constantly leaving you with nannies or whatever,
But again, there's plenty of people that go through that
and don't turn
True.
into
out to
fucking
be
asshats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't turn out to be racist
commending
Nazi
those
pieces of
people.
shit.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I have no empathy for adult Trump and adult
Yeah.
Elon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably the best way
Um,
to put it for me too, I guess.
You know,
I can have empathy
can-
for the little them.
and we can have empathy for all our past abusers and stuff, like for that child within them that got hurt, but that adult self that
That's
harmed
committing,
us, it's
yeah.
like, bitch, fuck you, dude. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you straight to hell. Straight to hell.
Yeah, it's like
No detours. Straight to hell.
yeah, because I mean, like, well, once somebody takes that step of continuing the cycle of abuse, then it's like, yeah, I mean, you've lost any kind of empathy you otherwise might
And
have
you
had.
lost that child self. Like, I don't.
Exactly.
I honestly think
yeah,
that
you like
you
destroyed
killed
that
that.
child self. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you can get it back.
Yeah, and that's
honestly.
something I talk about a lot too. Is that abuse is really fucking harmful to the abuser too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The victim is the most harmed, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But to say that someone can commit abuse and it not be damaging their psyche is just not true.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
'cause
feel like you're
it-
diminishing your humanity every time you do it.
Exactly, and it intensifies that shame cycle of who you are and how bad you are, what a monster you are, and then it just
It's like a Horcrux.
Exactly, yeah, it just worsens
Yeah.
it over time.
Which fuck J.K. Rowling, by the way, but
Amen. Amen.
she's like seriously anti-trans. I don't know if you ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking also tragic.
It's just like, why can't everybody just be chill, man?
I'm just so glad I didn't get a Harry Potter tattoo because I really thought about it for a long time. And I mean, I do still love the story of Harry Potter. I think ironically, like the story that she wrote, like gave people that hope of feeling like if you feel like the odd one out or whatever, like
The
I think her
scarred
own
one.
story, because also Dumbledore was like gay or whatever. Like she had like all this lore that like she didn't always write in the books, but then somewhere along the lines, like she got brainwashed too or something. And
Yeah, that brain rot hit hard.
Well, didn't Dumbledore being gay come out like after all of the nonsense of people, or well, everybody accusing her of being like hating gay people and like all this
did
stuff?
it? I don't
Didn't
even
it?
know.
Because I mean,
I don't know.
I don't ever remember it being mentioned until Fantastic Beasts.
really,
Yeah.
I guess I don't really remember like when all that came
Right.
about.
Because I feel like there was an interview she did or something where, I mean, don't quote me because I'm not completely sure, but I thought that there was an interview she did where she had said that Dumbledore was gay or something, and then that's what was in the movie or whatever. And like because I mean the Fantastic Beasts is a series, so I mean it was probably in the book too. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was after all of the stuff came out about her and she was trying to like save face or what, but
I don't know, because like now she's like fully like,
yeah, because I'm like, what are you even doing? Why even write that in or whatever if you were just gonna turn around and be a piece of shit anyway? So I was like,
Yeah, and I was telling the girls before we started the pod that like I've kind of been like leaning into this philosophy that kind of takes bits and pieces from like existentialism and stuff, but it's called tragic optimism, and it's like essentially where, you know, throughout like the meaninglessness of life that can feel or like that it can feel meaningless, and throughout all the pain and the suffering and the absurdity and the chaos or whatever, to just try and find meaning and fulfillment in your life in whatever ways that you can possibly grasp it.
firmly grasp it
in your hand.
But I mean, honestly, I mean, I think that at this point is the philosophy that I have to lean into, because I think that's what's so weird is that like in the outer world, you know, there's like all this shit going on. But as far as like my close knit world within my family, my friends, you know, my loved ones and whatever, I see a lot of beautiful growth happening. And even within our community and stuff, I see a lot of beautiful growth happening. And so it's like I want to just like focus in on that and focus in on the creative voices and stuff that can be uplifted and whatever, even our own, you know, in this medium.
And that's something that we can control, is like creating spaces for us to feel safe and comfortable in, and especially like with the shows that we do and stuff, and like that is where we can just kind of help offer that escape from a lot of this.
Yeah, from a lot of the tragedy that seems to freaking abound.
And if we keep that alive, like our hope alive with those spaces like that can help us exponentially, I think.
Yeah.
It is 2:47. I don't know if you
Oh. All right. Well, man, this hour went by quick. And honestly, a lot of what I said, I don't even think you really need to cut out on my end.
Okay.
I think it's fine. But also apologies, y'all, for the TMI. But, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
we're all friends
sorry
here.
to the family watching, Christy,
Yeah.
our uncle. But, you know,
You-
this is what you said you'd wanted, or I mean,
this is who you raised.
We put a lot of it out there, you know.
We are almost painfully true to ourselves in
Yes.
in this
Even to our
this
own
experience, and I think that's the beauty of it, honestly.
No secrets over here.
Yeah, you know, we're
Maybe some.
little bits here and there. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us for yet another episode of the All Nighter podcast.
Stay up all night, listen up all night, or every morning, or every day, whatever you do.
Enjoy your time as much as you can, and we'll see
For
you.
sure.
See you next week.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Stop your phones.
What's happening?
This is the state of America right now. Just trying to fucking keep it together.
Quite literally.